me something taller. Because if I put it here, I don't like that. I need something right here. Well, anywho, I don't plan on being in this video too long. I wanted to just kind of shoot the shit, talk about some latest revelations I've been having. If you must call it revelation, or if you care to call it enlightenment. However, so wisdom has been bestowed. It's kind of hard for me sometimes to preface videos because I'm really just such a spontaneous person. There's no schedule. I don't even know what I'm doing when I'm gonna do it. It just happens. So I wanted to just talk kind of to myself. Like, the reason for me to even start this video was because I felt like I needed to acknowledge myself and how, though, I am very hard on myself because I have these just genuine high expectations for myself in my life and the standard of a person that I would, prefer to be. So that's why I named this video Hard on Yourself. Well, maybe you should have a hard on for yourself, because I'm thinking about reframing this scope of, the internal dialogue. I am currently the lonely stoner here on YouTube. I've dealt with a lot of isolation during the past. I've been on my own for at least 9 years, but isolated for about 4 years. And, with that comes a lot of like clarity. It comes a lot of like I said, enlightenment, but then 222 on the clock, hey. But then there's also the polarity of that with, like I said, you sometimes can become too analytical. You can become too high pressured on yourself about how things should be presented, or you just constantly feel like you're missing the mark. And this is not always something that's just simply coming from the external world. Like I said, it's due to a certain self expectation. Like, I'm supposed to be helping. I'm supposed to do something to make the world a better place. There's something I need to do because I'm the one that's supposed to be saving everything or holding it all together. And so that's what I'm finally coming to terms with. I'm finally kind of like on a new journey to embrace the fact that I personally don't have to be the one to be the glue. It's kind of like, that's like a part of freedom, when you finally realize that you don't have to be the one to take care of everything. You don't have to be the one to save anybody. Like, when I say save, it's like a sense of like, you're the one that your family calls when something is messed up. So they call you to come fix it, or they know that you'll be able to figure it out. You're the pillar and you're the beacon for so many people, but you don't have a pillar or a beacon for yourself. And so I'm coming to terms with, um, it's time for me to like reinvest in that confidence that I know I have. Uh, so that's why I'm like, get hard on for myself. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, I've been hard on myself for so long. But if we take into account, even though you might not never know my whole extensive journey, but if we take into account all that I literally made it through, I should be like, in my head, I got an intrusive thought. The intrusive thought is, I should be sucking my own cock. I don't even know if that's appropriate to say. But once again, I don't do YouTube for any funding, so I just speak freely. But yeah, I'm like, I should be like, like, damn, I'm really that person. Like, I really does this. Like, it is not easy. So that's why sometimes I get concerned for the world. It's not easy to have a sound of mind and still have a sense of compassion when you're going through this type of spiritual depth and journey of self-realization and things like that. Um, but yeah, I wanted to, like I said, just share it to myself. Really, like I said, I wanted to kind of just hype myself up. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we feel like we missing the mark, but you already finished. Like even though this ain't supposed to be a race, you already finished. But you feel like something's missing. Like what did I like? Did I forget something? Like is there more to do? You see what I'm saying? Like you still feel like this need. Like is there more to do? But it's done. It is done. Now all that there is to do is rest. And I find that a little difficult a lot because, you know, when you're accustomed to like that fight, flight, or freeze response, it's kind of like you kind of always kind of like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, like ready. You know, like what they say, like ready for the ball drop or some shit. They say shoot, but I'm gonna say ball. And so when you finally have that freedom of saying, you know what, I'm not going to be the one to run around with my head cut off like a damn chicken trying to figure everything out. I do not need all of the answers because, you know, when you think about it, what fun would life really be if you knew everything before it happened? Just like a movie. Would you even want to watch that shit? Because you already know everything. And I never really have a desire to know everything, you know. But sometimes you want to figure out, like, how do I gain this financial success? Where is it going to come from? Also, how do I gain it with keeping my integrity intact and not needing to sell myself out for a dollar sign? Yeah, that would never happen. So I would rather be what they call it in the Bible, meek, than to like chase something material. Now, don't get me wrong. We know that money is very important to establish, you know, certain levels of comfort in this realm, in this lifetime, in this 3D. Um, but yeah, I'm like, that doesn't mean that, you know, all that you experience won't have an effect on you, because trust me, Lord. I'd be like, you know, even with all of my wisdom, I sometimes wonder how much more difficult it can be for the average person with the average mentality, you know, to break free from this program. And that's another thing. So I was thinking earlier today, I thought about how people be like, you're not bigger than the program. You're not bigger than the program. And I realize, I am bigger than the motherfucking program. Because the program don't work on me. The fuck? Of course you're bigger than the program. You might not be bigger than the natural order. Okay, because the natural order, it is as it is. So it be. But the program, let me tell you, it ain't for me. Okay. So, like I said, having made it through all these experiences with a sound of mind, but also being able to accept the terms that, like I said, like abuse does affect you. So, whether it be physical, mostly mental, you know, a lot of mental abuse, what they call like the narcissism going around a lot these days. Um, Eventually it takes a toll on you. I just got done watching a video too about a lady who was mentioning how we don't have to be the caretaker. Like it's okay for you not to need to be the one to take care of everything, especially when you don't have assistance or a support system who also can help carry some of that load. Um, so that was really enlightening to hear that because, you know, I recently made some decisions to take, like I said, some steps back from things that I usually take care of. That's another thing too. I was thinking about how, like, what correlation is responsibility, like what does it mean for a person who feels such a high sense of responsibility that they don't cut themselves some slack? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, where does that stem from? What is the root of that feeling like I have to be responsible? I got to be responsible. If I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. I think that they call that like hypervigilance or hyperindependence, but then you got the polarity of like, the reality is that nobody else is going to do it. So it got to get done. Or you can kind of take, there's more than one or two possibilities. You can take another possibility where you say, you know what? If I don't get no assistance, the shit just ain't gonna get done. Why the fuck should why should I care about if it's not gonna get done or not? You see what I'm saying? Like regardless, like the scope of reference for this thought process is like, if the world is falling to pieces, yes, if you choose to put your ripple in the bucket, then that's fine. Go ahead, put your mark out there. Do what you can to, help this world not fall to pieces. But even then, it's still going to be falling to pieces. You feel me? Like 11-11. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You just gotta choose what you want. So I'm reframing like, what is my scope of making it? Like when we say you've made it, usually that's attached to, like I said, like obviously being in this world, of course, it's going to be attached to some type of financial wealth. Okay, but when you've made it outside of finances, and it's not just about the dollar amount, it's about having your health, like I said, the mental stability, even the capability to still have like compassion and things like that. That's a value you take pride in. I know I take pride in that. But I'm learning that I don't have to be this label of a good person to still be what I genuinely am. I'm kind naturally, but I don't have to be nice. So yeah, I guess I'm just here to say, like, outside of the victim feelings, you are the survivor. And it's time, instead of like kind of beating yourself down for all that you had to go through, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? If you sometimes feel like I'm the common denominator because everybody has an issue with me. But that was my calling. It was my calling to ruffle feathers. It was my calling to go against the grain because the grain is already fucked up. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, there'll be many people that want to stump your light out. There'll be many people that want you to shut the fuck up because you're speaking too much truth. And it's starting to hit. Like, even if you're not, personally speaking to these people, oftentimes society can get offended by that one person that dares, speak the truth about, hey, you guys don't see what the fuck is going on around here. They like, stump the lighthouse, stump her lighthouse. That bitch shining too bright. Why are they so afraid of the light? That's for them to find out. Me, on the other hand, I'm finding out that it's not my responsibility to share my light. It's not my obligation to feed you enlightenment. Like right here, doing this type of thing is for me. Like for right now in my life, I don't really have a lot of followers, so I'm just talking to myself. I'm doing this for me. And I think that's what like, part of it is. It's about getting back to just doing it for you. And doing it, obviously in a wholesome type of way. Like, you don't want to do things with malice intention. Maybe you do. That's your choice. But with your choices comes, you got to take what comes with that. But I'm like, maybe I don't have to be a fucking I might not need to be a philanthropist. I might not need to be, what the fuck, we the people, I can just be a boat cruise auntie, just travel the world, I can inspire people just by being myself, like in the sense of like, there's so many avenues. It doesn't have to just seem, it just doesn't have to be like a political stance of, or self-righteous, like spiritual enlightenment. It can just be, you are the unsee on that boat that encourages another girl like to pop her fly. You know what I'm saying? You got your little fly ass glasses, your hair, and you just encouraging people to live their authentic truth and let their hair down and rest. Not need this feeling of this expectancy to produce or do more. So I'm really working on this. I'm so working on this one because I often feel guilty for what I can't do. So like if I feel like I'm supposed to study, like let's just say plants, or I want plants in my house, but I can't keep them alive. So it's like okay, you can accept the fact of like maybe this is just something you're not good at. 1609, or you can continue to. I mean, shit. Oh well, if the fucking plant dies, at least you tried. Shit. If you love plants, keep getting them. I don't know what to tell you. Like shit, there'll be more plants where that came from. It's something you enjoy, even if you're not good at it, huh? It's okay to enjoy things that you're not good at. Wow, that's the fun in learning. And like I say, even if you are learning, you might not never be the best wood maker, but you might pick up a skill set or two. And then the experience itself is nice, just to have just experience, just a moment where you could take the pressure off, like I said, not need to color within the lines. So I think that's pretty much like the sum of what I wanted to share because I do want to read my book before my baby wake up. I want to read some of this book I got going on over here. But I'm just trying to accept the fact that like I don't necessarily need a big old household name. I'm okay with that. I need to stop feeling this pressure of like all that, because I guess it also comes from spirituality where they say like what you learn sometimes you're supposed to like you're not supposed to keep what you learn to yourself. Like how they say like in the Bible, like the candle isn't going to be left on the shelf, but there's a season and reason. And so sometimes even though you're shining very brightly, there is still times where you protect that light, where you can't just be sharing your motherfucking light with all these goddamn people because shit, your light is valuable for you. Like basically, I'm thinking of there's the scene going on in my head where like the cult members, the ones that was carrying the wisdom and stuff. So you have to be kind of like diligent with who you choose to show your light with, because sometimes people are seeking your light for their own gain. So that's what I'm realizing too. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that this world you have to be so strategic. You have to kind of be like stoic and very poker face type shit. But me, it is what it is for face value. So like you said, like, okay, if somebody, one day somebody say, oh, you're such a bitch, they probably was telling the truth. Because I could have really very much been a bitch to them. So I forgot the correlation of why I said that, but that's why I'm done. I'm just done. I think I pretty much said like, the spiel of what I wanted to say. And, like I said, giving myself some credit. Hey self. Um, I'm proud of you. They be like, you don't look like what you've been through, girl. You don't look like what you've been through. And well, ain't that listen? Thank God, right? Listen, I could only imagine. Like, what if you actually had to look like what you've been through? You look like an old tattered ass book, a book without a cover. The book without a cover. Look. I'm working on, reestablishing what fun is in my life. simplifying things, like not needing to go down the, not always, because I find fun in going down a rabbit hole and, studying, but I have to also like ground myself. And so I'm trying to learn how to just have fun, like in human shit, like just watching TV. I mean, TV okay, but I don't really know. I'm getting back into books right now though, so I do really enjoy a good book that really pulls you in, and I do enjoy. Oh yeah, that's my drama right now because I haven't really watched drama TV, but I do. I've been reading some drama books. So like, drama books always about somebody selling some type of illegal substance, some girl involved with a crazy ass deed, So uh, entertainment, what they say is it's provocative. It gets the people going. Look who's up. All right, before he comes in to attack me, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Um, Thanks for listening. And yeah, that's all.